Evening all. Right, let's get you guys on the big screen so we can see you. Hey Tim, how are you? Hope you're well. Alright, believe it or not, hi Dale, I have not had a pipe yet today. Saw the pictures of your meetup with Leeds with the Leeds group. Is it in the shop? That's closing down, right? Hey, Art's in the house. Razvan is here. Jeff is here. All the regulars. Art, there it is. Currently in use. There's nothing quite like a meetup, is there? Whether it's 1, 2, 3 people or 100 people. It's just a lot of the time it's a very sort of, I wouldn't say lonely kind of hobby, because with the YTBC you're never really alone, but still physically you are alone, and for most of the time. So it's really something special to meet up with people, and even if you don't end up talking about the pipe or tobacco very much, you're just sitting with people enjoying the pipe. So it's a completely different beast, isn't it? So I smoked this, I don't know if you remember, we mixed this up, I think I did it live a while back. This is Dunhill Navy Rolls and Escudo. I mixed this up back in July, and I tried it after a week or two, didn't really like it, and I tried it again on Friday. It was pretty good, but I must say I was kind of a little bit hasty when I started. I think I actually videoed it, I'm not sure, but I don't think I uploaded it. But it was quite meh, you know, the first half, but the second half it really did come to life. So there's life in this yet. Perhaps Dunhill Navy Rolls and Escudo are a little bit too similar for it to have been anything mind-blowing. And I think I've since realised that what I really need to be doing here is keeping it vapor and adding something else, perhaps a Kentucky or something like that, to spice it up a little bit. So that's something for the future, perhaps. Then if you remember this little fellow, this is the Ashtrays I got recently, but it fell behind that pipe rack and I forgot about it, and I haven't been smoking it for a while now. So I thought I'd give it an outing tonight. Hey Joe, how are you doing? So I think, as we usually do, I'll start with a pipe, maybe we'll move on to a cigar later. Okay, so before I load the pipe, we'll see what we've got in the package. So I've got 2 packages today. Hey Wayne, how are you doing? 2 packages came in today, one from the Danish pipe shop and one from a gentleman called Dan Lane, who I know of the UKTPC. I sent him a couple of pipes just to give them a polish up and spruce them up, and I'm delighted with the results. They're 2 very special pipes as well. They're both Bill Taylor Ashton pipes. One's a smooth and one's a rusticated one, and he's done an amazing job on them. So I mean, the pipes themselves were fine. It was just the rims, as generally is what it is when you buy estate pipes. The rims were pretty sort of charred up, and he's done a fantastic job. So first and foremost, we'll do the Danish pipe shop so that I can load up whatever's in there and we can smoke. And then we'll move on to the Ashtons. So let's just move back a little bit. And today I'm going to use my Emerson Kershaw. Haven't used that in a while. Dale, I don't want to disappoint you, there's no pipes in here. Not unless the Danish pipe shop decided to surprise me, which I highly doubt. The box is a lot bigger than the contents. Okay, so first off, let's get the box out of the way. So first off, I got some matches. I've been enjoying lighting pipes with matches, and I noted that they have some pipe matches, so I got some of those. Let's see what they're like. I got some McBaron Dark Twist Roll Cake matches, exactly. I've been wanting to see what this is like compared to the aged tin that I've got, and whether or not that's probably what we're going to open tonight. Maybe we'll see what the other tin is. And I got a big tin of Orlik Golden Sliced. This is it's fresh. I think it's from 2018. Shortcut to mushrooms is nice. It's aromatic, sort of, with some latakia in there. It's an interesting smoke. I saw Harriet got a big drum of it in from the one and only Art, Pipes and Spirits. It's really very nice. It is good stuff. I think I've still got a bit left of my baggie somebody sent me, don't remember who. And finally, Pipes and Tobacco. It's a magazine which I've really been enjoying. So I've got the 3 editions before this, and this is the 4th one. I think it comes out 4 times a year. I really enjoy reading this. And it's through this magazine that I got in touch with, I mentioned him recently, to a pipe maker, an American pipe maker. Can't remember his name right now, but I'm hoping to order a commission from him at some point in the future. I mean, it's $7.95 in America, but here it's to get it. The Danish pipe shop is the only place that I know I can get it, and it's about €13, so it's quite expensive, but still, once every few months I can live with that. Abe Herbal, he's the one that they're featuring this time. Yeah, that picture could look like a bunch of tobacco on my list, couldn't it? Virginia Woods, Christmas cheer. Oh yeah, definitely. I'm lucky enough to have a few of these. It's obviously a feature on McLaren's. I'm going to enjoy reading that. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Absolutely art, yeah, definitely. So I'm just going to see what this looks like. Oh, I like these. They send these in long belts. I think in the 200 gram tin and in this, sorry, in the 100 gram tin, in the 200 gram sort of container that I've just got, they sell this in these long kind of belts. The aroma it's giving off is pretty pungent. Look at the length of these. Gorgeous. So that's 200 grams. So, what I'm probably going to do is just do the whole lot and make the whole lot into London Fog. Hey Mike, how are you? Congrats on your win. It was you that won the commission pipe on Pipe Blues or whatever it's called. Blue Pipe something. Mike anyway. You know what my memory's like. Okay, so this is the McBaron Dark Twist. So the Ornate Golden Sliced is very fresh. It looks like it's from 2018. So I'm gonna, when I make the London Fog, I'm going to let it sit for a while. It probably will be too fresh. So first off, I think I'm going to open the McBaron Dark Twist as well, because I want to compare it to the aged version. There we are. Oh yeah. That's a good aroma. Oh, that's got a really good aroma. The aroma is very similar to the Vapor. So here's the it's hard to know, it hasn't made it so far, but I'm sure it will soon. So this is the old tin. This is from 2012. And this is the new tin. So let's have a look at the colour. So you can see a difference in, well, you may not see it in this lighting, but the paper is different. How much is it going for there, Mike? You can see the difference in colour. Look how dark that is on the left, and it's a fair bit brighter on the right. Oh, right, it's on auction. Okay. It's really difficult from the UK to bid on stuff in the US, because either they don't make it available to the US, or the shipping is just crushing, you know. So Mike, was it you that won that commission? Pipe tree is in the house. So what shape did you put on the comments originally, Mike? Just going to use the rat trays. Nice. Nice choice, Mike. Well done. Congratulations. Tree, still no luck on that package. So these are no issues at all ordering from Danish Pipe Shop. We're still in the EU. Just God knows what's going to happen if we do actually Brexit, because that's one community that's going to suffer, which is the pipe community, unless there's some kind of customs agreement. So this is Cigar. I don't know. I can't read Danish. Torden Skuld. Perhaps if I say it with an accent, it might sound like I know what I'm talking about. And I think these are, I don't know, I've got no idea who that is. I think they're standard sulphur matches, but they're longer, which is why they're pipe matches. They've got this in a shortened box as well, but I guess they're a little bit longer to make them suitable for lighting a pipe. Right, we'll see what this fresh dark twist tastes like. Four Noggins does clear customs, but his shipping is crippling. It's just ridiculous. He's charging, I think, $50 for shipping. I mean, that's just crazy. You kind of lose the advantage of buying it in America. At the moment, for me, the best venue for buying in America is Boswell's. I don't order very much from them these days, but when I do, the main reason is because they have a reasonable, Boswell's clears generally. I can't remember I ever had a dodgy shipment from Boswell. No, right, Tim. Yeah, I remember you had your issue with that Northwoods. I suppose it differs from post office to post office. But they have a limited range of tobacco. They used to do a really good range of McClellans. Obviously, that's no more. But they had they had about 20 or 30 different tins of McClellans. But they're a family business, so they focus on their own blends, which is fine, and their blends are fantastic. But there's precious little else. So I do order every so often. I did order some Northwoods not that long ago. Ordered another £0.5. which is aging. I actually did order a pipe, and I've had it converted, and I should receive those pipes any day now. I just got an email the other day from Ian Walker at Northern Briars that my pipes have been done. So I've got 4 pipes coming in. So I'm really excited about that. There's a... Hey Bodie. I've tried Fusiliers ration. I might even have a tin still, can't remember. This dark twist is very good. It's got the same DNA, tastes the same, but just not as rich. But I really just got this 1 tin of the new stuff to see what it's like and whether it's worth buying them and cellaring them, and I think it most definitely is. And I will do that in due course. But there's quite a few blends that you can't get here in the UK. It must be something to do with the ingredients. So I shall have to order them from Danish Pipe Shop, or there's another site which somebody sent me details of on IG. I can't remember the name of it, I'd have to look it up. But there's a site in Switzerland which stocks C&D and GLPs. And they also do Orlik, and it's cheaper than on the Danish Pipe Shop. We're going through these matches at a rate of knots. Well, I guess I should have dried this tobacco out of it. What was I saying? Yeah, anyway, so I'm going to get some of this Street Cellar. This is the new tin, right? I put the wrong lid. Very nice. Right, let's find some Virginia Woods. Okay. I've got some from 16 and some from 17. Let's try and find some from 16. At least to get another year age on it. We'll let the 17s wait a bit. Just going to grab my mixing container. Do you mean art once it's been opened, or when it's closed? If it's still sealed, then sure. And once it's opened, it's probably best to put it in a jar, I guess. But it depends if you're aging it or not. Anything I've opened, if I'm smoking it through, I leave it in the tin and I keep it either out so it dries out in its own speed, or I keep it in a Tupperware. Alright, so we got 100 grams of that, which means I need, if I'm doing 60-40, I need about 120 grams of, or 115 grams of Orlick. If I do all of the Orlick, which is 200, so maybe I'll just go for the whole tin of Virginia Woods with the whole tin of Orlick. What say you? Should we just do that? So what does that make it? 75-25? Or is my maths all wrong? 3 parts, 66, 33. Yeah, that's good enough. That's close enough. Is that right? 66%? If that's 200 grams, then that's 100 grams. You know what? I'm not going to bore you with this. I'll do that a bit later. I guess you want to see the Ashton pipes. Right, so these came in today. Got them on eBay a while back. Sat on them for a bit. And then decided to get them done professionally. See you, Wayne. Thanks for joining. So that's the first one. This is a Canadian. Very nice old church finish. Tan. Nice long slim shank. It's got a little bit of a scratch there, but otherwise I've not tried the HH Latakia yet. But a very sleek looking pipe. Does anybody know this one has got made in England with a, without a number but with a little comma at the top? I'm just wondering what that means. So I don't doubt this is an original Bill Taylor. It's got all the classic indications, but I'm just not sure about that. I don't know if you can catch it there. You should be able to see it there. See that little dot next to the D of England. So I'm not sure what that means. Perhaps Chris Morley can tell us. I'll have to ask him. He's quite an Ashton fan. He knew Bill Taylor. He got hi Ryan. He got pipes direct from Bill Taylor. Actually, I meant to put a picture on the UKTP. I found an article in an old. Let me find it. I'm going to put a picture of this on the UKTPC. This is a UK magazine from 1995, which I got at from Karen Ezrati, and it's an extremely interesting read. It's got a so this is Jethro Tull, a comedian, a pipe smoker. So he was a pipe smoker of the year in 1995. And it's got loads of information, adverts, but it's got a lot about you know, tips for first-time smokers. But I saw some correspondence. Where are we? Here we go. Christopher Morley of Bingham took up a pipe in 1988 and soon afterwards picked up a copy of our first guide, which led him to Gauntleys of Nottingham, where he got much good advice. Now he is a considerable pipe collector. Peterson, Ashton, Savinelli, and of course the Sherlock Holmes 7-day set. Excuse me. And also a collector of tobacco tins. He tells beginners to persevere. What first started as an inquisitive urge has turned into a most enjoyable hobby, pastime, permanent companion. Oh, Jethro, fine, okay, sorry. Permanent companion and a lot of fun with newly discovered like-minded people in my vicinity. Those that are reading this guide, as I was 7 years ago, believe me that the enjoyment of a favourite blend in a well-broken pipe is something that I don't think can be described and is for each individual to discover for him or herself. I'm sure it's him. It must be the same Chris Morley. Great magazine. The sad thing is it's got a list of all of the tobacconists that were around, and there's literally hundreds in this list, and there's only a handful left. Really sad to see. Pipe sweetening treatment. Notes for beginners. Gives you suggestions, top tobaccos for beginners. A lot of them aren't available anymore. Gold block, the original gold block. But a lot of them are. Erin Moore mixture, Clan, Condor, Amphora Red, Borkum Riff Cherry. Here's a step-by-step guide to sweetening your pipe with a salt treatment. Very cool magazine. I like dipping into it every so often. Right, you want to see the next... yeah, I know, Dale. It's just, it's just, for me, I've only been smoking a pipe for about three odd years. So for me, looking back at stuff, you know, 20, 30 years old, it's an eye-opener, and I really enjoy it. As I showed you last week, that catalogue from 2002, also a great eye-opener. And guys, if you haven't tried Dark Twist, give it a go. Lovely tobacco. McBaron's. Okay, so here's the other Ashton. Got some beautiful straight grain. Lovely grain all around. And this one does have a date on it. It says made in England, and it's got a 6. So that, I think he started in 83, if I'm not mistaken. His numbering. It's 80 something, so you got to add from 83, so it would make it 89, which was I think he did it to around turn of the century, maybe 2005. I'm not sure, something like that. There's a little bit of elongation of the bowl there, but in very, very nice condition. Beautiful grain, nice thick walls. Nice and lightweight, as his pipes generally were. He was well known for his oil treatment, which purportedly gives a beautiful nutty flavour to the pipes. And apparently he used to say that his pipes would give you that nutty flavour for the first few bowls, And then people discovered that that flavour was always there, and it just was a sweet smoke. And he got a very, very good reputation for the oil treatment and the lightness of his briars. So yeah, these pipes probably will get sold at some point because I can't convert them. Although I dare say this one possibly could be, but being an Ashton, probably wouldn't want to mess around with it. Savinelli is always a good smoke, Dale. You can't beat a Savinelli. Also very nice and lightweight. I think they're, out of the factory pipe makers, they really are one of the best out there. Same for Stanwell. Fantastic. This bowl is coming to life now. Flavour is coming through very nicely. Hey Andy. Alright, well, while we're sitting here, we'll get some of this going. I'm chiffing, or even chuffing, a Rattray's pipe with some McBaron's Dark Twist. Ryan, the last time I was in the US was probably for my brother's wedding, and seeing as I've been married, I've got my 27th anniversary coming up on the 17th of this month. And he was married probably a couple of years before me, so that's how long ago it was. Must be nearly knocking on 30 years since I've been in the States. Yes, I'm showing my age. I've never hid my age. I've only hid my visage. Thank you very much, everybody. Well, if you want to know her age, she was at the time around 20 when we got hitched, and I was 22. Nice one, Jeff. It was nice to see your bride on your video the other day. Something which is extremely unlikely to ever happen on my channel. My wife has zero interest. Breaking it apart quite roughly. Well, what are you used to smoking, Andy? What's your normal smoke? Oh, Josh is in the house. Hey, Josh. Mixing up a fresh load of London Fog, and originally I was going to press it, but I must be honest that I think that the original was better without the pressing. I don't know if it just because the pressed version needs to be left for longer, I don't really know. That's a lot of goodness in there. A rare video from you, Josh, on my feed. I see. I haven't watched it yet. I saw your handsome persona. Cheers, Jeff. Enjoy those Cubans. How were the half Coronas, Jeff? I know it's difficult when you've got a box of cigars begging at you, calling at you, but if you can allow some of those half Coronas to age, you'll really thank yourself. Maybe 2 or 3 years down the line, they take on a really fragrant aroma. Yeah, definitely worth aging. Alright, that's 200 grams of all golden sliced. Really roughly broken. I don't break it right down to ribbons. I like it quite rough. Watch it. Alright, so that's the all golden sliced. Right here. Oh, where did I get it from? To be honest with you, I don't remember. I think I got 2 of these from Boswell's. I haven't tried breaking it up out. What I have done is just put a nub into a pipe to smoke the last bit. That I have done. I'm trying to remember where I got these from. Possibly Briar Hokey bought them for me, possibly. I'm trying to remember. My memories, you know what my memory's like. It's really going back quite some time. Somebody got me 2 or 3 tins. And I got a couple of tins from somewhere else. I don't remember. The first tin I ever smoked, I got from the Israeli sale. And that was from, I think, 1999, a really old tin. And that kind of hooked me. And that's where this all started. This whole business with McClellans, Virginias, Vapors, it all started with that aged tin of Virginia Woods. So I've got Mordecai Israti to thank for that. He passed away, left an estate for sale, and that's where it all started. $100 grams gone in. Hi Andy. Art, it really depends on your experience with cigar smoking. If you and what cigars you're smoking. If you're smoking a really generic kind of cigar, then I don't think it will make a difference if you break it up or if you nub it, to be honest with you. Because a lot of generic cigars, non-premium cigars, will be machine made, short filler, so there's no expectation of progression throughout the cigar. Whereas a premium long filler cigar, you will notice a change in the cigar from the first third to the second third to the third third, and you'll usually find that depending on the blend and depending on the blender and how skillful they are, you should see some progression in the cigar. I find it less so with than with non-Cuban cigars. I find non-Cuban cigars to be much more, this is not a blanket rule, but for the most part, in my experience, I've found them to be quite monotone, quite sort of linear. In the flavor profile you get is the flavor profile, and that will be the same throughout the cigar, perhaps getting richer and stronger as you get to the end, but you wouldn't expect a real change. Whereas with Cubans, you do get quite a change, and you do often see a change in flavor and certainly a change in intensity. So on a cigar which is pretty linear, if you break it up, or whether you just put it in, shouldn't make a huge amount of difference. But a premium cigar, I wouldn't break it up. I really wouldn't. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but I think that you'll miss the point of the cigar, and you'll miss that progression and the intention of the blender. That's my feeling anyway, my humble opinion. Yes, somebody did suggest that. I think it was Mike actually, Gamecock Piper, who suggested that I should try using the Sutliff together with Orlik. And I'm an idiot really, because I should have kept a bit back and done that. I'll try to remember the next time. The next time I do a purchase overseas, I'll get another tin of Orlik and try it with a Sutliff. Art, as is his wont, was very generous and sent me a large bag of it, so I have no problem with the Sutliff side of things. So, I don't know if you guys have been following the little episodes I've had with the Amarelli pipe, that 70th anniversary pipe for Israel. Very, very nice pipe, I have to say. Smokes very, very well. The first one I received had a little crack in the shank. Sent it back. They sent me a new one, and turns out that one was cracked as well. So I sent that back to Amarelli again, and they told me that I should expect to hear from. They weren't keen on talking to me for some reason, and they told me to expect a call from Israel. And lo and behold, on Friday morning, I got a call from Izzy, Happy Go Lucky Piper. And well, it seems anyway that the pipe club that ordered this series of pipes, have a couple of spares, so hopefully I'll end up getting another one. But I did feel a little bit aggrieved by the whole story. It was really surprising to me that they would send a second pipe out with a crack in as well. Yeah, I'm tempted to get that second tin off Bird's Eye Briar, but I think by the time I pay for the shipping, it's probably not worth it, as much as I like the stuff. Better learn to be a little bit sensible about things. Absolutely, Mike. Is one thing I learnt from Glyn Quelch, which he told me when I talked to him originally about doing some tobacco blending. Is he said to me, the key thing is mixing. You just got to keep mixing. And as soon as you think you've done enough, carry on. No, Ryan, it definitely wasn't the same pipe. The first pipe had a crack on the shank. So it was a diamond shank actually, but essentially it had a crack over there, and because it's a 9mm, so there wasn't as much thickness on the walls, and it was just too much of a risk to have a crack there. And they were happy to send a replacement, and when they sent the replacement had a crack, 2.5-inch crack going all the way along the stummel. And it's definitely it wasn't a crack as in somebody had taken a sledgehammer to it. It was a crack, and you could see it was a seam. It was a fault line in the briar, in the wood. And you could miss it, but it's still surprising to me that they missed it. But there you go. It's not the end of the world. Hopefully that will be resolved when I get the next one, and all will be well. It is a very nice pipe, yeah. And the Amarelli pipes, they're beautiful pipes. I mean, if you go onto Amarelli's website, they're fantastic pipes, and it was a great deal because, in the same way as with the Pipe Club of London, when you buy a pipe from them, you're buying it at a much lower cost. The current pipe for 2018, which is that Meerschaum, I think we paid about £120 for it, something like that. And to buy a Meerschaum, a block Meerschaum high quality pipe, you know, you'd be looking at £250 probably to buy it retail. So it's always good to buy a club pipe, because you know, the order will, depending on the size of the club. I think the Pipe Club of London one ordered over 100 pipes. So, you know, by an order of that size, they have the ability to negotiate a good deal. Yes, they are indeed. Cortez, there are, in this case, it's 33% of Virginia Woods by McClellan's. Good luck trying to find that. And 66% of All It Golden Sliced. It's right here. Yeah, 60% McClellan's Virginia Woods. And if you can't get McClellan's Virginia Woods, you could always try some Sutliff. You can try some of this. This is Sutliff 515 RC1 bulk. It's at a very good price. Art, where was this from? Just, I think it was about $27, $28 for a pound bag, something like that. My guess is that hey Dinsdale, I haven't forgotten. I hope to come next week to the Pipe Club of London. Cheers, Mike. Thanks very much. Enjoy your dinner. And do let us see that pipe when you get it. Where was I? Yeah, Dinsdale. I'm going to bring you some tobacco. Which tobacco was it that you wanted? Was it London Fog? I don't remember. Half and half you wanted. Yeah, so I'll bring you some of that aged half and half. is my half and half keg. Also purchased at the Israeli sale. This is from the 1970s. I've been dishing it out steadily, so I don't particularly like the stuff myself. It's getting quite dry, but it's definitely smokable. There's still a half a keg there easily. It's still got a good aroma. Hey George. I would say that the Sutliff 515 RC probably has a fair bit of burley in it. That's just a guess though. I might be totally off mark there. Right, so now I need to find a suitable jar for this new batch of fog. I'm not sure if I've got a large enough jar. Right, we'll see how much we can get in there. That's the original fog, with the London Fog sticker made by the one and only Josh Pipe Grump. Let's just clean things up a little bit. You haven't missed anything, George. We were just talking about you, that's all. Oh yes, that smells right. As soon as you add the Virginia woods to it, it takes on that note, that McClellan Virginia, a bit of that vinegar, that ketchup-y aroma, and it just becomes a completely different entity. What have we got here? If that was 200 grams. 100 grams is 4 ounces, isn't it? So this is 4 plus 8, so that's 12 ounces. That's a fair amount. I don't know if I'll get 4 ounces in there. What I might do is, it's not an air filter, it's just an extractor. And there it is up there. See it in the corner? Good to hear that, old lang syne. It's always good to hear that other people, enjoy the experiments that you try. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something like what Old Berg did, because I was fortunate enough to win a tin of Penzance from him last week or the week before, and he did while he was doing his giveaway for the coffee, the OMS coffee. He did a giveaway for whoever was on at the time, and I was very lucky to be drawn. As I mentioned at the time, the first ever giveaway I've ever won. In 3 years of trying. It's true, I don't enter as many giveaways as other people, but it's still amazing to win. It's always a nice feeling. I tell a lie actually. I won a similar kind of thing with Paul Menard. I won one of his pipes, which I didn't actually get it because I had only just bought some pipes from Paul. So he asked me to nominate somebody else who was on at the time, and I nominated Mike Gamecock, Mike Blocker. So he got one of the Devil Ants Hatfield little pipes from Paul, which is very cool. Right, so I think this one will be regular use. I'm going to do a bag right now, and in a short while we'll do a draw. I'll give you each a number, and whoever wins it gets some London Fog. Asda bag. Let's do this properly and get a proper amount, 2 ounces. George, just go onto YouTube and search rehumidifying tobacco. I can tell you what I've done. No worries. Cheers, Ryan. What I've done in the past is I put a paper towel down, slightly damp, but very slightly damp. Put the tobacco on a thin, sort of a single layer of the tobacco, so it's not sort of, you know, layer upon layer of tobacco, and then put another paper towel on top of it, also very, very slightly damp. And I guess you can do that with a towel as well, but it's really, you want it to be only slightly damp. And I just left it there for, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes, half an hour maybe, and then I transferred it to a jar and let it equalise in the jar without the tissue, obviously, and that was it. It was good to go. But there's lots of ways you can get these humidifying stones, which you can put in. You can put a Boveda bag in. I've done that. I just put the tobacco into a jar, put a Boveda bag in there, and just left it for a few months. It depends how desperate you are to smoke it. But if you want to smoke it pretty much straight away, then introducing some kind of dampness to it is the simplest way to do it quickly. The old codgers used to put a slice of apple in their pouch, which is okay for short term, but for long term it's not, because it will go mouldy. Ryan, I'll tell you what I'm going to do if you're still there. I'm going to put everybody who's been on from the beginning of the chat. I'll go back through the chats, and if you haven't commented and you want to be in this draw, then just say a comment saying I'm in. Hey Harriet, welcome on board. And I'll do a drawing a bit later on for whoever's been on, and they will get a 2-ounce bag of freshly brewed London Fog. I thought you might be Tim. Oh, spilling it everywhere. There you go, 54, 55 ounces, 55, 56 grams, that'll do. Just over 2 ounces. So there we are, a nice little bag of London Fog to whoever wins the raffle at the end of this live chat. Hey Aces, how you doing? My desk is so crowded at the moment, it's ridiculous. I can't move. You're seeing just the right hand side of the desk, and the left hand side of the desk has been hit by a nuclear bomb. Just saying. You guys in the States must be able to find a bit of Virginia woods with a bit of detective work. Smoky. Right, I'm going to start writing down who's on. With an exceptional pen, sent by Art. Oh, that is expensive. But I'm sure there's some little mum and pup stores somewhere that must have some. Got to be some around somewhere. And I'm going to leave these to age. It's a McClellan's Virginia Woods, McClellan's Virginia, red Virginias, deep red Virginias. Well, I'm not going to talk baloney, I'll read it for you. Hang on. You're sitting on what, Art? Smooth, rich, mellow flavour with an incomparable woodsy aroma, blended from matured red Virginias, stowed Virginia. That stowed Virginia does give it that extra little bit of spiciness. Wide cut lemon Virginia, and other premium tobaccos. One of the ultimates in matured Virginia blend smoking. I think there's, again, it's only conjecture, I think there is some aromatics in there, possibly a drop of vanilla or something like that. Or some kind of sweetener, possibly. Oh, you have some on your shelf. Oh, you mean it's sitting on someone's shelf? You mean other people have brought it all up? Okay. Yeah, it's a very neat lighter he's setting you there. Hurry up. Right. This is a good bowl of baccy, I must say. I'm very relieved about that, because I was worried that it's only the aged tin of Dark Twist that was as good, but this is very good stuff. I would certainly recommend this as a, you know, somebody who likes McClellan Virginia. Cheers, Cortez. Whilst it's not it's not McClellan's, and it's a different DNA. It's not it hasn't got that vinegar and that kind of thing, but it's a Virginia with a twist, and I don't mean dark twist, but it's a Virginia with a twist. It's got something which gives it the X factor, if you like. It's got that little bit of what actually is it? I think it's Kentucky. 1 second. And it just gives it a bit of pizzazz. Zing, yeah, good word. Gary, how you doing? Okay, so the contents, according to Tobacco Reviews, is Black Cavendish, Kentucky, and Virginia. So it is Kentucky, and it says it has maple flavouring. Could be. Je ne sais quoi, indeed. But I've certainly learnt that over time, I'm learning that there is, you know, if you explore enough, there are quite a lot of je ne sais quoi blends out there. And of course, my je ne sais quoi might be somebody else's junk. But, you know, we all have different preferences. But I seem to be really gravitating towards Virginias with a twist. So rather than straight Virginias, I mean, even straight Virginia blends are not straight Virginias most of the time. Andy, I don't get any strength at all from it. I get fullness of flavour, but not strength. And that again is going to be, these things are going to affect us differently, depending on what we're used to. According to Tobacco Reviews, it's mild to medium, and I'd probably agree with that. Yeah, that's. I mentioned that in a video recently. His Northern Bohemians video is. I do highly recommend that last video he updated. Oh yeah, definitely everyday smoke, no question. For me, anyway. As I say, everybody's got their own tolerances. That's the word I was looking for. And for a Virginia is a delicious Virginia, but again, whether it's straight Virginia or not, I doubt it. I'd really be surprised if there wasn't some kind of sweetener in there. Yeah, they are going to disappear. But you can get the replacements. It'd be interesting to see if they taste the same. Pembroke, is that the one with cognac in it? No, I've never tried that. Well, George, You know, these are all very subjective questions. You know, all the people on here will have different suggestions probably, but you've got to first see if you've got to really, in my personal opinion, moving over to English. English is, if you go into a tobacco shop and you ask them to smell a jar of a English tobacco, you may well recoil the first time. I certainly did. I would certainly consider a crossover blend first, or a very mild English blend. So I would say something like a shortcut to mushrooms. That's it's a vanilla-ish kind of aromatic, but it has latakia in there. You can try, if you can get it, Samuel Gowerth's Bob's Chocolate. Again, a Virginia flake type tobacco, but with some chocolate flavouring and some latakia. So that will give you something of an aromatic with a latakia base. A Virginia base with some latakia added to it. And you can just see if that makes any sense to you. But if you want to try something straight off, you can do a lot worse than go to. I was just going to say that, Geary. Go to Boswell's and get a sample pack. Get a selection. Personally, I wouldn't start with Squadron Leader, but that's just me. You know, you may love it the first time, but I would go to Boswell's and start on something like mild English. Possibly even take something like Northwoods and just add it to some other tobaccos or a Virginia tobacco, and just see how it goes. Dilute it. boswellspipes.com. HC, I don't know where you are. Are you in the UK or in the US? Sorry, you asked about cigars, HC. Sorry, I was talking to George about his moving to English tobaccos. Oh, right. You're in London. So you're a Cockney. Like myself. Or perhaps not. Maybe you're not a Cockney. Well, I am a Cockney because my father was born in the East End of London. So I'm an official Cockney. So, beginner cigars. Oi, 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 indeed. Beginner cigars. If you're talking Cubans, being that you're in London, the most obvious apples and pears. Shush, I've got to keep it quiet, otherwise the trouble and strife is going to come in here and give me a right old earache. So, if you're talking about Cuban cigars, HC, I would go for Hoyo de Monterey Epicure number 2. It's a nice size. That's interesting that they would discontinue that. Seems to be a really popular blend. I think I've still got a bit. I'll have to check. Because I did like that actually. Cheers, Rocket Dog. Is it really discontinued? Wow. Out. You must be sitting on a load if you gave that much to Harriet. Why on earth would they do that? Absolutely, Harriet. I wonder if the base of it was a McClelland, like 5100. Yeah, there you go, Harriet. I read your mind. Snakes. It must have had 5100 in it. Well, you can send some my way, Art, if you've got more. I've got to check what I've got left. I think I've got... hang on, let me have a quick look. I mean, I didn't have a whole load to start with. Somebody sent me a baggie, I don't remember who. It might have been you, Josh. Was it you? Or it might have been Mike, I don't remember. Actually, I should have it on my database. Tobaccos. You sent it all to Harriet. What, the peaches? I can't see it. Maybe I finished it. Captain, yeah, it's a straight Virginia, that one. It's a nice tobacco. I could have sworn I still had some of that stuff. But it looks like I don't. Let's have a quick look through this little... The whole point of this database was that I wouldn't have to do this, but I'm doing it. I've got a bunch of Latakia based blends which I haven't smoked in ages, since I'm not smoking Latakias very much. I've got a couple of Danish pipe shop matches, match English blends, which Cobbett of the Shire sent me, Stephen. I think I smoked one of them once, and that was it, and I haven't really been onto them since. It's Killington from 4 Noggin while it was still owned by Rich. Misty Mountain from Tim. Powdered Toast from Tim. Velvet Pipe Tobacco. McBaron Modern Virginia. 2014. I'll have to give that a go. I think Phil sent me this, Max Northwest. Sent me a few of those. No, I don't have any at all. Shortcut to mushrooms. Which I'm surprised. I thought I had some. Josh, that's really, 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 really nice of you. You don't have to, honestly. It's I'm not short of tobacco, but if you do, it'll be much appreciated. And I will certainly send some to Tim. And Tim, whether you win that thing tonight or not, I'll send you some fog to go with it, all being well. What is this? Oh right, that's the aged luxury twist flake from 2003. I should really try some of it. So there, we were talking about rehydrating tobacco. This had dried out, and I just put a Boveda bag in there, and this is beautifully moist now. I can actually take it out. And I'll put the Boveda bag back in the humidor, and I really ought to smoke some of this stuff. In fact, I might do that soon. Leave that out. Should really do a video on it though, being that it's aged. Be interesting to share my experience on that. Okay, I think we can put this back. Yeah, Boveda's a great invention. Let's see if there's any tobacco left in this. Yeah, we've still got a bit there. Anybody on here tried the W.O. Larson tobaccos? I think he releases a tobacco every year, usually with a very nicely coloured, arty kind of tin. I've never tried them, and I'm just wondering whether it's worth giving them a go. I'm assuming that it's going to be a typical aromatic, fruity aromatic. Danish Pipe Shop have just taken stock of the 2018. And what do you think, Dinsdale? Hey, Quaker. Why is that? Why do you stay away from them? Well, if you're into Savinelli's, Danish Pipe Shop have just taken delivery of a big bunch of them. But they're all new, so no bargains there. Yeah, that's probably why I haven't tried them till now, to be honest, Quaker. Oh, it's the 2019. Burley Cavendish Oriental Virginia. Distinctive mixture of Virginia Burley Oriental tobacco being pressed and cut into cubes. Finishing touch, we added cross-cut Virginia and black Cavendish. The fragrance reminds us of nuts, chocolate and apple. Interesting. Do you guys in the US have any trouble getting stuff from the Danish Pipe Shop? I'm a big fan of their shop. Nice people, really wide range of Tabacchiano. I think that their prices fairly European, which is not a good thing. But there's a good availability. It's not a lot different to UK prices, to be honest. But they do have a very nice range of pipes. They've got thousands of pipes online at any one time. And they've got some really high grade ones as well. So if you're in the money, they're the people to look up. Oops, look at that, the whole bottle's just fallen out. Okay, so I've got a little sample of McBaron Modern Virginia 2014. Let's give that a whiff. And we've got this luxury twist. Peter Stockerby. Should we give that a go? Yeah, I saw that. I think it's ridiculous. If somebody's prepared to pay for it, good for them, but that's just crazy. I did show it on one of the live videos. Can't even see it at the moment. Oh, there it is. But he's got 3 which were up, and 2 of them have sold. Can you believe that? I can't imagine they sold for those prices. They must have negotiated. Yeah, very nice, but it's not the most stunning grain in the world. It's nice, but it's not 17 grand. I mean, no, it really isn't. It's very nicely made pipe. Nice bird's eye on the rim there, but I don't see 17 grand's worth of pipe. But if you got it, what the hell? Why not? this one sold for 10 grand. High contrast grain. Yeah, it's very nice grain. But 10 grand. It's a lot of money. 12 grand. Seriously? Ah, come on, that's criminal. That is nuts. Seriously nuts. Alright. We'll do the twist. We'll do a little twist. Let's get all those dregs. Motti, Azrati, if you're watching, this one's for you. Because you obviously had this vacuum packed way back. And he's been responsible for a huge shift in my pipe smoking. So this one's for you, Motti. Once I've got this loaded, I will then get to the Raffle. I think as a special smoke, it needs a special pipe. I think we'll go with a Chacon. Look at that grain, come on, that's got to be worth at least 5 grand. The most I've spent on a pipe, and I haven't really spent that much in the past either. It's really the highest I've ever spent, and that was £295. Golden sliced with Quiet Nights, okay. How much Quiet Nights to the golden sliced? What kind of proportion are we talking about? Because I would have thought that the Quiet Nights would sliced nights, good one. I would have thought that the Quiet Nights would just simply overpower it. All right. Half and half. Here we go for some 2003 Peter Stokovic Luxury Twist Flake. I've got one Bentley pipe, very, very happy with it. It smokes fantastically well. Well, Josh, you may have spent $80, but you've got a pipe which cost me more than that. When I bought it anyway. That's so in Refberg. I think I paid £90 for it, although I did get that refunded. But yeah. Retrohale should be awesome on that, actually. What flavour is supposed to be on the luxury twist flake? Is it vanilla? Caramel and other, it says on tobacco reviews, which is very helpful. Other. It does have an interesting flavour. To me, it's a little bit similar to the flavour in the dark twist, maybe like a maple. I can't put my finger on it. I don't get coconut, not at all. Actually getting a little bit of a bite on this. Did I put a... Do you know what? I've got a feeling I didn't put a filter in. Hang on. Yeah, I did. I don't know if I changed it or not. A bit naughty breaking the pipe whilst I'm smoking it. It's quite rare that I get bitten through a filter, and I am getting a little bit bitten here. Yeah, I'd agree with that actually, Dale, because Tim, your 320s must have cost you more than 70 quid. Or maybe just about around that, I suppose. I know, it was Andy that said 70 quid. What did Tim say? 138? Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, you get a 320 for that. Yeah, Tim, sorry, I made a mistake there. It was Andy that said 70. I don't have a 320 anymore. I quite like the idea of getting one of the smaller 320s, not the KS. Is it the 321? Is that what it's called? That's good to know, Quaker. I might go for a 321 at some point, but not at the moment. I'm besides for the pipes that I've got in the pipeline, I'm gonna... I actually did a video on Friday, but I haven't uploaded it. And I'm probably not going to upload it because I had a bit of a rant in that video, and I've decided against airing my differences. But in that, I talked about a little bit of a pipe fast, which I do every sort of year or so, just to sort of bring myself to reality once in a while. So, besides for what have I got in the pipeline at the moment? I've got the 4 pipes coming from Northern Briars, the conversions, the 9mm pipes, which are pipes which I've had for a while. I think they're unsmoked. I've got a Moretti, which the one with the white stem you may have seen in the past, which is a smooth pipe, which I'm quite excited about because I haven't got a Moretti that I'm smoking at the moment. I've got a Boswell, a diamond shank, I think it is, a diamond shank bulldog, and I'm really excited about that because I haven't got a Boswell that I'm smoking either at the moment. I've got a couple which I'll probably send off to get converted, but I'm not smoking them. I'm trying to remember what other 2 there are there. Oh, there's RC Sands. That's a nice pipe as well. I've got an RC Sands pipe which is converted. And what's the 4th one? I haven't seen those. Tim? Let's have a look. Yeah, I must say the Eldritch pipes are a good price. I really thought there'd be more money. I can't see where they're is it under Ashtray or under Eldritch? Let's have a look under Ashtrays. Oh, that's the Meerschaums. So what did Eldritch do with these pipes? Oh, they're one of his custom stems. I would get it, but I'm not flush enough at the moment. They've got one there, a 9mm version as well, £127. Just not in a position to at the minute. Very nice. I can only see one though on the site. Oh, those are nice. Oh, here we go. Oh, that blue one's gorgeous. That's gorgeous. A nice rustication on there as well. Look at that stem. Oh, I'd really like to get that. Very nice. Yeah, I'm in the same boat at the minute. You know, the Lee Van Cleefs are nice enough, but I've never really been taken by them in a big way. Just me personally. That one's nice as well. And he makes these stems himself. That's gorgeous. I like the blue one better though. That is stunning. That is nice. Oh well, you can't have them all. Life is life. I've got to be honest, I'm not a big fan of these carved meerschaums. I prefer them with a straight, either smooth or a rustication. I'm not big on these like claws or the heads. I'm not big into those. You know, the faces, that kind of stuff. It's kind of a good, I don't know if it's a good tobacco or a good pipe, but that was sitting there for quite a few minutes and was still burning nicely. Yeah, snakes, I agree. The ones which are really ornately carved, I'm just not a big fan. I think they're stunning in terms of the skill and the workmanship that goes into it. I mean, how they make it look like the bowl is inside the basket and all that kind of stuff. All very intricate carving, but it's just not my thing. Absolutely art, definitely an addiction. Yep, indeed. I'm very happy to show it off. This is this year's. Starting to colour up a little bit of yellowing there. And this one has got the Pipe Club of London PCOL. This is the logo. And it's got PCOL 2018 engraved on the silver band. Yeah, it's the only meerschaum that I smoke, and I have to say it's. I've had a couple of meerschaums before, which I don't have anymore, but this one smokes beautifully. It really does smoke dry, and it's beautiful. Although there are some times when I do get a bit of moisture coming through the top, which surprises me. Yeah, it's 9mm. Yeah, it's got a big bowl. Hey Mitch. 9mm. You just have to be careful how you take the stems off on these. You have to do it clockwise on and clockwise off. Otherwise it pulls it out of the... because they're basically twisted in. The this bit here, I think it may have a bit of glue or something on it, but they can easily come out because it's not like wood where it binds to it. See, even that little floral carving I don't really like, but it's minimal. Nice bit of yellowing on the style. I don't know why people are so obsessed about the coloration of these, but it's nice to see it changing colour. Alright, I'm just droning on and on here. Let's get this drawer done. Alright, let's get a piece of paper. I'm going to do my best to get everybody in, but it's not a proper science, so I'm going to do the numbering, and if you're not on there, just let me know. I'm going to go right to the top of the screen here. So we've got Ryan S. He's going to be number 1. Art is number 2. Tim is number 3. Dinsdale is number 4. Dale is number 5. Number 6 is 2EOSJA Andy. Jeff Crosby. Tree is number 8. Number 9 is Josh of the Grump. Andy Lucas is number 10. Gamecock Piper is number 11. Mike of the Blocker. Number 12 is Cortez. So good they named him twice. George R is number 13. Lucky for some. Old Lang Syne, number 14. The Herfing Harriet is number 15. Aces is number 16. Andy Lucas, we've done him, yeah. Joe Fish is number 17. Geary is number 18. A very auspicious number 18 in my circles. Have we done George R? Yeah. Geary Rocket Dog is number 19. Dale. Have I done Dale Piper? Yep. George R was done. Harriet H.C. is number 20. Twee is in there, yep. Josh, Harriet, George. Snakes in the Road is 21. Dance Dad Piper. Didn't see you there. Welcome. Dinsdale, are we in? Is Dinsdale in there? Yep. Quaker, 23. Scott Free, number 24. Andy Walker. No, we've got Andy Lucas. We've got 2E, blah, blah, blah. Andy Walker is number 25. And we're coming to the end now. Dale Piper, Snakes, Pipes, Dale Piper. Mo Piping. What draw is he doing? Who are these newbies just come in here, just come in for this draw? It's a bit jammy. Mo, hi, how are you? Where are you from? Yeah, there are lots lately. Right, number 26, Mo. Piping. Scott Free. Canada. 27 is Scott Free. Clearly he likes things Scott Free. Eric Ramkison. Good timing. 28. Right, Eric's the last one in. Eric Ramkison. You're on 24, Scott Free, yeah. Oh, you're right. Sorry, well done. So you're number 24. Thank you for telling me. And Eric's number 27. Right, I've written this all a bit shoddily, so the writing's a bit naff. So, number 1 is Ryan, number 2 is Art, 3 is Tin. At number 4 we have Dinsdale, at 5 is Dale, 6 is Andy, and 7 is Crosby. 8 is Tree, 9 is Josh, 10 is Andy, Lucas, 11 is Mike, 12 is Cortez, 13 George R, 14 Old Lang Syne. At number 15 is Harriet, 16 is Aces, 17 Joe Fish, 18 is Geary, number 19 is Rocket Dog, 20 is HC, 21 is Snakes, 22 is Dances with Wolves, Dance Dad Piper, 23 is Quaker, 24 is Scott Free, a very honest Scott Free, 25 is Andy Walker, 26 is Mo, all the way from Canadian land, and number 27 coming in right at the end is Eric Ramkison. Okay. Alright. Drum roll, please, somebody. Thank you, Mo. I knew you were here for a reason. Right. Good luck to yourself indeed, Andy. Number cruncher. So we have from number 1 to... Hang on, we're not ready yet. Number 1 to 27. Okay. Pipe, you're going to have to do better than that, Josh. You've got to cross a few things, not just one hand. Okay. Are we ready? And just to get it, make it a little bit more interesting, I'm sure I'll chuck some other stuff in there as well. Scot free is ready. Okay. I'll just wind up my thumb. Wake up. And here we go. Steady. Steady as she goes. I should do advertising, shouldn't I, at this stage? Come on. What should we advertise? Right. The anticipation. And here we go. 2. Art. Wicked. Number 2. Art. Couldn't go to a better man. Number 2. Dull. Congratulations, Art. Sorry, George. Tim, you're going to get some anyway, don't worry. Karma Art, absolutely. That's to replace that shortcut to mushrooms that he sent all the way to Harriet. Excuse me. All right. What's the time? 1:54. It's early. All right. Right, I'm gonna just tidy up a little bit. I just have to decide if I want to go for a cigar now. I need to eat something as well. So, I think that's it, folks. How did you do that mini ashtray? Well, this one, nothing to it really. Just an empty tin, tobacco tin. And I ordered a cork from Boswell's actually. They come with a sticky pad on the bottom. Stuck it down, that's it. Job's a good one. Essentially, that's what I had last week, Art. I received high praise on the cigar forum. Where's that? Which forum was that, Razan? Nighty night, Dale. Don't let the bed bugs bite. Yeah. Definitely you can drop it in. It'll do my ego wonders. I'm a very humble person, as you know. Well, we're about to find out, Tim. Well, just type the name rather than the whole link. I'm sure you can order a Meerschaum pipe in Canada, even with their archaic tobacco laws. What's the site called, Razvan? It is a very nice pipe, and it's so far the only it's the only club pipe that I've smoked so far. I've got 3 club pipes and I haven't smoked them. Friends of Habanos, right. Time to get an ego kick. Friends of Habanos. Forums. Surprising lack of a good cigar reviews coming out of the UK. Okay. Surprising lack, here we go. Very nice. Who writes this? 99 called Prominentes. Yeah, they talk about losing Nick Wing, and I agree. He was a real honest reviewer. Wow, that is praise indeed. Very nice. Thank you for that, Razvan. I'm tickled pink. Well, there is a cigar which I'm very tempted to smoke, which I was sent by a guy called J Cigars. It's a KSA cigar, which is the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's a very rare cigar. I'll get it out. I'm not sure if I've showed it before, but I need to do it justice and smoke that and do a proper video, so I won't do it live. Ooh. A whole bunch of stuff just fell off my cupboard. Luckily I wasn't walking under it. But I think I'm going to light up this Monte Cristo number 4, I think it is, which I was given by a neighbour recently. Got no idea how old it is. And I might even be able to use this old, in honour of Tree, I picked this up at a car boot sale. Let's see if it works. Yeah, not really. Oh well, gives you enough of a draw on it. Morgan, how are you doing? Welcome. Promising. Seriously, my desk is a bomb site. It's disgusting. Tobacco bits everywhere. Alright, let's show you the cigar. So this is a Robusto sized cigar. And you got there KSA, which is Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now these are supposed to be Cuban. I think there's quite a bit of conjecture about that. But essentially, these are privately rolled for one of the princes in Saudi Arabia. And they've, I suppose because of the rarity of it, it's become quite a holy grail for a lot of people. It's supposed to be premium tobacco. It's supposed to be as good as a reserva. It's supposed to be in that kind of category of tobacco. So the limited editions and reservas, they're all rolled with aged tobacco, usually at least 5 years. The limited, some of them are 3 years, but the reservas I think are 5 or even more. The wrapper certainly, put it this way, aroma-wise, it has a sweetness, a certain sweetness on the foot. I'm not getting much off the wrapper. When I've smelt it before, I wasn't convinced that was Cuban. But it may well be. I mean, I'm no authority on it, but actually the foot does smell Cuban. But it's not giving off a rich aroma, a tangy aroma, so it certainly needs age. It's got quite a dark wrapper. It's almost like a limited edition sort of style Maduro Cuban wrapper. I don't know, George, it's a good question. I don't know. I mean, the guy that sent it to me is desperate for me to smoke it because he wants me to do a video. Yeah, but Cuban do Maduro wrappers as well. Razvan. Most of the... When I say Maduro, I don't mean a classic Maduro that you'll get on a non-Cuban, but in colour. The colour gradings, they go from Claro down to Maduro in Cuban cigars. In non-Cuban cigars, they go darker to Corojo and things like that. Or Corojo. But you certainly get Maduro coloured wrappers in Cuban cigars. Most of the... I don't want to put this down on the desk with other tobacco, so I'm just going to close it up again. I hope it's awesome art, but I don't know. I've not smoked it before, and it'll be a while probably before I smoke it. Well, just to show you some of the colour gradation, show you one of my tapadors. Let's see if I can get some kind of angle here for you. Try and do that without spilling all the contents. There we go. So, in terms of colouring, if you have a look, this is a Rabena Andorra Regional Edition. That you'd call a Claro. This one, which is a short Churchill, even more so, quite a light coloured wrapper. And if you look at this one, which was actually sent to me by Tree, this is a Cohiba Maduro, most certainly Cuban cigar, and it's Maduro. The Cuban Maduros are not as dark, some of them, but the limited edition cigars are. I should have, look at the difference. This is a Ramon Allones 2015. Look at the difference. That's approaching Maduro, it's not quite Maduro. And that's actually quite a similar colour, the Cohiba Maduro. And I'll show you a Cohiba limited edition and you can see the colouring on that. Alright, here's a few of my special cigars actually, I'll show you all of them. Right, so this is the current limited edition from Cohiba, which is the Talisman. And this one is starting to mature a little bit. I smoked one before and I wasn't very impressed, and I said as much on my video, which I think some people were surprised at. I think there's a lot of hype around limited edition cigars. This one I was actually gifted by the Cuban Cigar Club shop in Newcastle. This is they gave it to me because it's damaged on the foot. This is Ramon Allones, a limited edition, which they made to commemorate 225 years. It's from 2015. And as well, I don't know if I'll smoke this one. It's a single that I've got. Some people have got boxes of them. I haven't. This is probably my most treasured cigar, even though it's probably not as rare as the KSA. This is a Trinidad Fundadores, but it's got the old band. The aroma on this cigar is, you guys have probably heard me saying this before about that intimate aroma. It's got such a sweet, tangy aroma. It's intoxicating. Absolutely, every so often I open this up just to get that aroma. And it's good to get air to them every so often. Yeah. So this means that this is what does it mean? I think it's pre-2003. Or maybe 1983, I can't remember, there's a 3 in there somewhere. But they changed the bands over to the current Trinidad, you know, the 3 Ts, at some point. I don't remember now, I've lost, I used to know. But it means it's quite old anyway. And it's just, I have no idea when I'll smoke this. Because the chances of getting one again is very, very rare, unless you're going to pay, you know, to buy from an aged seller, and you'll pay a lot of money for that. This one, not as rare, but it's just the size of it. This is a Sancho Panza Cuban cigar. Just look at the length of it. And this one is from 1999. I bought this in a Davidoff shop quite some time ago. But another one which I keep in a plastic tube to keep it protected. And that's the Ramoniones, you've seen that. That's the KSA. Somebody asked earlier on, I think it was HC, I don't know if he's still on. Good cigars to start off with. I can give you a quick rundown here. If anyone's interested. Right, okay, so a cigar which I bought quite a long time ago, probably around January 2016, something like that, which was just after I started really getting into cigars. And I bought a box of 10 of these short Churchills, and I really didn't like them. They had really no taste to them at all. This is a classic Robusto size. When I say classic, I mean Cuban Robusto size, not American. And they're tasting really nice now. They still could do better. They still need more time. One of the cigars which I really enjoy is the White Churchill. These are from 2012, and you can tell the difference straight away. They've got such a fragrance to them, which it's a bit of a floral fragrance to them. And I find that although this one is not so much, but there were some crops which had a really reddish kind of wrapper, and they just gave off an amazing aroma and a fragrance when you smoked them. That's the H. Upmann Connie No. 1, the Connoisseur No. 1. One of my all-time favourite cigars. Also got this is from 2017, but as I've said before on my channel, they've got it must have been a great crop, because they've already got that fragrance, that aroma to it, only after a year. A very, very nice cigar. This is the Punch LCDH 48. It's a 48 ring gauge, a very, very nice cigar. This has that reddish kind of tinge to the wrapper, and that reddish tinge does, I find, I don't know if it's just me, but I do find that you get that sort of sweet, sugary kind of fragrance, a little bit perfumey, and it's just got a great flavour. Monte Cristo Edmundo from 2011. These have got a really aged taste to them, quite a tangy flavour. And I used to be of the opinion, and to some extent I still am, and I said the same about the Anejados range from Cuba, that I think there are some crops, some years, which are not great, and they put them away, and they release them later on as aged cigars. And what I find is that, yes, they will improve them with age, but you're never going to drastically improve a cigar which wasn't good to start with. And what I mean by that is, a good cigar could be good after 5 years of aging, but when you smoke it new, it won't taste good. But the crop, the leaf, is good quality. When you get a bad crop, and the leaf is not good, no matter how much you age it, it's never going to be as good as it would be were the leaf to be good to start with. And these, they don't actually have a good quality Monte Cristo DNA. They're nice to smoke. They have a nice aged aroma to them, a bit of a sharp dustiness to them, that kind of aged tang to them, but they're not, it's different. They're just different. I do enjoy them, but they're not Monte Cristo to me. I mean, they definitely are, but they don't smoke like them. And to me, I would say, in my humble opinion, that these were put away to age because they weren't great to start with. But that's just my opinion. Mag 54s, H. Upmann, very nice cigar. Not as fragrant as the They're connoisseur number ones, but a very nice, more chocolatey kind of flavour to these. I like these, they're very nice. These are from 2016, already tasting pretty good. These were released at the end of 2016, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They're a new Vitola, and they're a nice cigar. This is the Ramones Claballones, or Claballones 2015 limited edition. I used to really like them. I'm not so hot on them anymore. They're nice enough. They're not a bad cigar, far from it, but these are the same, I would say the same thing about these. These are specially selected Ramones. Now, the specially selected used to be one of my favourite cigars. I had a bunch from 2008, I had, which I finished now, alas, which I got from a cigar collector friend of mine. And those were great. They had a fantastic fragrance to them. This one, it's got a really similar flavour to these Monte Cristos, which shouldn't be the case. And that's why I feel that this, if you look at the wrapper on this as well, it's very, very matte, very bland, no oil at all. And I think this, you can see that they are aged because they're almost box shaped now because they've been in the box for so long. But I think that although these do look quite oily, they've got a nice sheen compared to that. But they've got a good aroma, they've got a good flavour, a nice aged taste to them. But again, I think this was originally perhaps not the best crop in the world. What else have we got here? We've got the Rubenas. These are like cheap cigar, relatively cheap, small cigar, really small, short smoke. But they're a very nice middle of the road, sort of creamy, buttery, nutty kind of flavour. I enjoy them. Every so often they come up with a tight draw, but that's another whole story with Cubans, which you've heard from me enough. What else? Yeah, Razvan, is what I just said. I refer you to my comments of a moment ago. That's basically, these are my kind of the ones that I dip into daily. This is the Spanish regional edition La Gloria Cubana from last year. They're still too young. I just put a started box in there. There's a few left in the box, so I've put it in here, but they're too young. Quite a strong smoke. But my comments really are irrelevant at this stage because they're too young. They're still quite harsh. I've lost the second band on this one, but this is a San Luis Rey to Soros. I've smoked a heck of a lot of those last year. Just got a few more in now, the last few that are available. And I've put those away, so probably come back to them later on in the year. But they're very nice already. They're from 2016, but they're smoking a lot better than they did to start with. Let me put these back and I'll see if I've got anything else interesting. Oh my god, you know what just happened, don't you? That's good karma. It's not good to show off all your stuff. Look at that. All over the floor. That's okay. That's okay. I'm happy when things like that happen. It's good, it's all good. We'll tidy that up in a minute. Andy, no, not at all. Not at all, not in my experience. For a start, you go to any cigar shop and the humidors are all wood. They're made out of any type of exotic wood and usually lined with Spanish cedar. So no, some of them will have a glass top, but that's just for aesthetics. People like to see their cigars. But no. You do get some limited edition in ceramic jars, but generally speaking wood, and I keep mine in a small fridge, usually. Just the humidification is what's most important. And the secondary most important thing is to ensure that there's nothing which can influence the flavors, because the cigars will take on those flavors. So you certainly wouldn't want to keep any tobacco, any pipe tobacco, together with your cigars. And which is why they do store cigars with cedar, because cedar gives a positive influence to the cigars. Just a second. Alright, I'll just show you a few more and then I think we'll call it a day or a night. Absolutely, Razvan. Vintage is definitely essential in my experience. Certainly with Cubans, I don't know why it is, but the non-Cubans seem to get consistency down to a T. And if you like non-Cubans, you're in a much better place, because the consistency of non-Cubans is just, you know, the Cubans can't get anywhere near it. Whether it's the rolling, the quality of the rolling, the draw on the cigars, the quality of the wrappers, even the band. You know, you hear me moaning about that so many times, about how difficult it is to take off a Cuban band. This is a little box I picked up in Switzerland when I was in Zurich a couple of years back. This has got Hoya de Monterey Grand Epicure 2013. I'm not a big Hoya fan. I find the flavours a little bit mild, but when they're aged nicely, they're great. This is a nice Vitola. It's a limited edition 2013. This is El Rey del Mundo. It's a French regional, also from 2013. I think these are all 2013s. And this is a Punch 2013. I haven't had any of these, and because it comes in this presentation box, I've just left it. I haven't smoked them. It comes with a little cutter. This is a box from some H. Upmann Mag 50s, but I keep other stuff in there, some on my limited cigars. So I've got a couple of these 2012 H. Upmanns. This is Pour Laranaga. This is the Great Britain regional edition, which was in either 15 or 16, not sure. Smoked a fair few of these. This is my last one, so it's kind of being treasured. This is called the Sobresalientes. Try saying that after a drink. That's that one. Then I have a couple of these, which is the Magnum 56 ring gauge. Nice big cigar. Really nice and sweet and chocolatey. It's been a while since I've had one of these, but again, I've only got two of them and they're kind of just sitting there. And then we have something which used to be a holy grail for me, which is the Magnum 49 or 48, I can't remember. It's a 2009 limited edition, one of the most chocolatey Cuban cigars I've ever had. Got two of those. Took me a long time to find those. That's another one of the 2012s. And finally, there we've got a Monte Cristo 80th anniversary, a big cigar. I had one of these when they came out. They came out in either 16 or 17, I can't remember, and I wasn't impressed with it at all. People raved about them, but I'm sure that it's a lot better now. There's a lot of hype with cigars, with the limited editions, and I just don't get carried away with it. If I either like it or I don't like it. Okay, so essentially, in terms of storing them in the boxes in another container, essentially, you're in a vacuum. So if you have a humidor, I mean, if you go to any cigar shop, you walk into the walk-in humidor, it's exactly the same situation. I'm just replicating it in a smaller way. All of the boxes that are in a humidor, in a walk-in humidor, how are they maintained? It's because the humidor is maintained at a certain temperature and humidity. So every walk-in humidor will aim at least to have their humidity around the 70 mark. The door keeps opening and closing, so they might have it set higher in order to maintain it at 70. And overnight it'll catch up. And it's true, often you'll go into a walk-in humidor and the open boxes, you'll take a cigar and sometimes they'll crackle a little bit if you roll them between your fingers because they are a little bit dry, because that humidity is difficult to maintain in a busy shop. So I've got two, I call them frigidors. One of them is more long-term and the other one is more medium-term, and I keep the plastic tapador in there as well, no lid on it. And essentially they're airtight, and being airtight, you maintain them whatever humidification tool you're using, and you just keep the humidity. And all of these boxes are all made out of cedar. Cedar absorbs humidity, and even if I was to take out the humidification out of my frigidors, it would be fine for a good while, probably for a few weeks, because there's loads of humidity in the boxes and there's humidity in the cigars themselves. So the cigars themselves will, you know, a box like that tapador, which just fell over, a box of cigars like that with 50 or 60 cigars, that will hold its own. If I close a lid onto that, an airtight lid, that will keep humidity for a long time, because there's loads of humidity in there, and if it can't escape, it can't escape, it'll just stay there. So that's essentially how it works. The key thing is maintaining humidity and being careful what you store them in. So as long as it's not going to introduce any flavors into your cigars, you're fine. Doesn't really matter. People do get a little bit hung up about these things, and in my experience, I haven't really seen the merits of that. You know, people are also very fussy about keeping it exactly at 70 or 69, 68, depending on how long term it is. But cigars generally are, they're not forgiving, but they are forgiving to an extent. And you know, if for whatever reason your humidifier sort of dries up for a little bit, it's not the end of the world, as long as you've got it in an airtight environment. These are actually quite special. These are Rabenas Maestros. These are from 2008, I think. 07. These are from 2007. And the Spanish regional edition. Very, very nice cigars. Cheers, Tim. Have a good one. I know it's a bit late tonight. And finally, I had one of these on the live a couple of weeks back. Maybe it was last week. Which is the La Gloria Cubana Inmensos from 2012. Quite a big cigar. Took me a couple of hours to smoke it last time. Very nice. And this one can still have some aging. It still could do with more aging, believe it or not, despite it already having 6 years on it. On the foot there's still a little bit of ammonia there. All right. Any more questions? Pipe or cigar related? You know, I've just realised that lit cigar went down with it as well. Oh. Thank you, Razvan. There are some others, but I'm not going to fish them all out now. Tree, is that the bellicoso, the tapered end one? The Oliva Serie V is a really nice cigar. I've got a fair few of those, and I've got some of the sun-grown undercrowns, which I have them every so often, but I'm leaving them to get a little bit of time on them, because you don't see the same evolution as you do with a Cuban cigar. But in the beginning, I didn't think there was any point in aging a non-Cuban, but I do see that now, that there is. I have seen that recently with some of the cigars that I bought early on and then smoked them a couple of years down the line, and I have seen a difference. And how was it, Harriet? Which Vitola was it? Which size cigar? Hey, fireman. Hey Dublin, what are you doing up at this time in the morning? Oh, that's quite late. Cool. By the way, Razvan, you talked about that forum, and I knew that my ego would get a boost, but it's misplaced. The Simon that they're referring to is Simon Chase, who was previously the director of, which is now, he was one of the top guys in the UK scene. Hunter and Francow, which is now currently being run by one of the descendants, a lady, one of the descendants of the owners of A. Chapman. Oh, right. No, I haven't tried Commonwealth mixture. Who is that by? Is that Peterson? Oh, Samuel Garth. Isn't that in English? I've heard that the Lonsdales are very good, actually. I haven't tried them yet. I have some Serie V Melanio in the... it's not quite a Lonsdale. It's quite a long... It's the Churchill, actually. It's the Churchill. I didn't enjoy it as much as the Robusto. And I would smoke more Lonsdales Cubans, but they're just too risky because they so often come up tight because of their thin ring gauge. Yeah, it is very frustrating, and it happens all too often with Cuban cigars. That was part of the rant that I was going on about on Friday in the video that I recorded on the way to work. But I didn't put it up. It was just too much of a negative video. Sometimes I record videos and I just get stuff off my chest, but I don't put it up. I've got loads of videos that I haven't put up. It's just good therapy. One of our community leaders, there was a time, I mean he's very high up in the community, and I was involved in a school for a while, and part of that involvement meant that I had to interact with a lot of sort of community leaders, often dealing with difficult special needs pupils, things like that, or broken families, these kind of things. And there was one time when I was speaking to one of these guys, and he started just sort of getting things off his chest, and it just seemed so incongruous to me, because he's one of the community leaders, and here was I, just a parent of a kid in school. Okay, I was a governor of the school, but even so. And I was surprised, and I don't know if he realised that I was surprised, that he was really talking some personal stuff. And he said to me, you know, the most important thing is, if you have a problem, is to talk about it to somebody. It doesn't matter who it is, even if it's somebody who's you're not relevant, or somebody who can't even help you, but just to talk it, just to get it off your chest. It's a physical act which goes deep into your subconscious, and when you don't realise it, but don't really want to get into a whole discussion about the soul and the mind and all that kind of thing. But a lot of the physical things we do are connected to things which are a lot deeper. You call it the subconscious, or call it your soul, call it your spirit, call it whatever you want. But a lot of the things we do are manifestations of what's going on deeper in our consciousness. And he said to me at the time that whenever he's got something which bothers him, he just tries to find somebody to bounce it off, because that physical release by saying something out with your mouth also gives a release to your subconscious as well. So my iPhone is my therapist sometimes, as is YouTube often. Yeah, taxi drivers are good therapists, although I don't know how much people share with a taxi driver important stuff. So I had a long rant about Cuban cigars. No, that wasn't on Friday, that was on Thursday. On Friday, I had a rant about the Amarelli pipe. It was good to get that off my chest as well. And once you do that, you don't feel the need to then publicise it. Which do you like better, doing live or recording videos? Well, oh, thank you, Boris. I'm blushing. Razvan, that's quite rare nowadays. I did have that in the beginning, a few years ago. But nowadays you can get tight ones. Very rare to get a plugged cigar these days. Andy, ruff. So in terms of recorded videos or live videos, when I first started doing the lives, I kind of gave myself a pressure that I had to line up a list of topics to discuss, because I was always nervous of the dead silence. And so I did find them a bit intimidating, but at the same time it was just incomparable to have that live interaction. So that's something which is really special, especially with the people that you've got to know in the YTPC and interacted with via messaging or watched videos or done VRs, and to actually just have a chat, have a virtual meetup is just fantastic. There's a lot of people who have told me in the past that they live out in the sticks somewhere, and they have no chance of a meetup, very, very little chance of ever having a pipe meetup, and they come on to a live. And first of all, before lives became popular, just watching people's videos, people doing their unboxings and sharing their tobaccos and reviews, it was just they were part of a community. But the lives just adds another dimension, and it's not just another dimension. It's a leap in dimension. It's a big jump from watching a recorded video over to a live where you're immediately interacting with somebody, and that certainly, I find that very rewarding, and it kind of ties in very much with my ethos when it comes to pipe and cigar smoking. When I first started, I've said this many times, my big inspiration for the passion that I have for pipes and cigars were the Dagners, and whilst nowadays it's not so relevant, but certainly it's where it started. And there was a time when I felt that, perhaps wrongly, because I didn't know many people in the UK who smoked at the time, but when I started, certainly I felt that the UK community wasn't really active much on the YTPC. And that was in the days before I got to know Tree. Tim, I think, had a hiatus for a while. And since I joined, there's been a huge increase in UK presenters, proportionately, not in numbers compared to the US, but proportionately. There's been a huge increase. And at the time, though, when I started, I just felt that I wanted to contribute, and I wanted to put the UK YTPC on the map a little bit. It wasn't an egotistical position, it was just what I felt at the time. I was passionate about it. And that kind of led also to the style of presentation, where I said that right at the beginning, that I wanted the focus of my channel to be not myself but the content, the tobacco, whether it be cigars, pipes, pipe tobacco, whatever it may be. And it kind of went from there. So coming back to the original question, Harriet, in terms of interaction, you can't beat a live video. In terms of contribution, in terms of getting first impressions out there, in terms of getting as much information out there, recorded videos probably are better for that purpose. So for me, I can't say which I prefer. I think that nowadays, because I don't really prepare for the live videos, they're easier in some ways. Because we're just having a chat, and it's, you know, I'm much more relaxed about it. And obviously, if I've got something to show, like this evening, I had that the package from Danish Pipe Shop and so on. So it certainly is a good icebreaker, get things moving. But then I find that from there on, the chat just goes. Sometimes there are some quiet moments, you know, and that's fine. I'm not scared of them anymore. A quiet moment is a quiet moment. And I think that in life as well, the same is true. When you're in the company of friends, silence is okay. When you're in a situation where, say you're going on a first date with somebody, silence is makes you very uncomfortable, very awkward, it's very intimidating. But when you've been married for 25 years, silence is a blessing sometimes. Hopefully my wife is asleep. No, she's a good girl. I try to be a good boy. Anybody still out there? Have I put you all to sleep? Thank you, Harriet. Well, I think you've become very, very accomplished on your channel a lot quicker than I did. No crashes yet, but I have had to change what I do, because I did get pulled over by the cops not long ago for holding the phone, and it's become against the law here to touch the phone while you're driving. So nowadays you'll have noticed that I start off parked when I start off, and I'll show the pipe or the cigar, then I'll put the phone up on the perch and then drive off. So learnt the hard way. I don't think it's illegal to have it recording, because you can have these dash cam things on all the time, so hopefully that's not a problem. Yeah, you're right there, Harriet. That's true. I think with the shout outs that people do, people get up into the hundreds very quickly these days. I did, Harriet, unfortunately. It's a very basic lavalier mic. Costs about £7 on Amazon. Sometimes they're okay. I've got a couple of them. The one in the car is a bit ratty, but does the job. I've struggled a lot in the car, as you all know. And at the moment, it's the iPhone SE which I use with the lavalier. It seems to work okay. Mo, you noticed the spike in what this year? In new presenters? Well, the iPhone 7, you can just get the adapter, which will give you a normal 3.5 jack socket. Well, Mo, I wouldn't have seen your channel if not for the fact that you came on tonight. I've just had a quick look. I can see your... How long have you been presenting for? No, your earliest video was a year ago. Well, Mo, I'm subscriber number 114. I've just subscribed. I think I was a lurker for about 3 months. I think I first picked up a pipe in October 2015. And I presented, I think, in December. Something like that, November or December. Yes, Tree, 100%. I can't keep up with everybody. I must be honest, and I feel bad, but I only watch about 10% of the people on my feed. I know a lot of people, they cull their subscriber list quite often, but I don't know. I don't think it's nice to do that. If people have subscribed to you, you subscribe back. You know, I can't say I've subscribed to everybody that subscribes to me. It would be impossible. But people who are interactive and they're sort of dedicated to your channel, it's only right to subscribe back. And whilst I can't respond and comment on every video, I try to make sure that I comment on people in my feed every so often. And some I comment on much more regularly, but You know, I just try to keep a level of activity with everybody as much as I can. But it's often very hard, very hard to watch every video. Which is all the more reason why I appreciate people that watch mine, because some of my videos are very long. I'm not in the video, so it can be a challenge for some people. So you know, probably don't say it often enough, the gratitude that we have, but yeah, I feel very privileged to have those subscribers, and I try not to take advantage of it. Always try to make the content as interesting as possible. I'm not always successful with that, but like I said, I try to make it a focus of the content rather than myself. Hi James, how are you today? And there's also been a lot of people who have taken the jump from being lurkers to presenters, which I think is happening at a faster rate than it did before. Yeah, Josh, 100%. It's very hard to keep up. That's one of the reasons why I didn't do a 2.5K goal, because it gets a bit long in the tooth every. It's got to be something special, so I'm going to wait until the 3K till I do the next one. There's so many goals out there, just gets lost in the melee. Alright folks, I think that's a wrap. Well, it depends, I suppose, how near it was to the last one, and you're doing a massive one at the moment. Well, call it a raffle or whatever it is, but which is really awesome. I hope you've got plenty people buying the raffles. Danny's a great guy, and I caught a little bit of your live video, not live, afterwards, and you were talking to Danny's sister. And I think he's absolutely right, those sentiments. Danny's a great guy. He was somebody mentioned on there that he was the first person who sent them a package and that kind of thing. he's one of the people who, that's fantastic, Harriet. Danny's one of the guys who interacts with everybody. There was I found that it's the YTPC used to be a little bit cliquey. There's a few cliques of, they used to sort of call them the OGs, the original guys who started the YTPC early on, and they were quite cliquey. Whereas nowadays, I find that the community is much more welcoming, and people interact with each other regardless. And Danny is certainly one of the proponents of that, who always was happy to interact with anybody, and hopefully still will be for a long time. This cigar is coming up really strong at the moment. This is a Monte Cristo. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a very good night. It is now 3:04 AM. Time to get some shut-eye. I wish you all well. I thank you again for an amazing live video. Yes, Harriet, at this size it would look familiar. It started off that size, and the ones you had were, yeah, about that size. So thanks everybody for joining. It's really been an amazing chat, and I look forward to the next one. So let's see who's been on. Thank you, Morgan, Razvan, Harriet, Tree, Mo, Josh, Andy, Lucas, Mike, Scott Free, Fireman Piper, Dublin Pipe, James, Boris, and everybody else. Thank you very, very much, and I will catch you on the very next one. This is London Calling, saying good night.